So today's message is something that I'm very deeply passionate about. If you've ever asked the question, who am I? Who am I really beyond this body, beyond this mind, beyond all these roles that we play? Then this is for you. So we're just going to briefly talk about the part of you that never actually changes. The part of you that witnesses all of life's unfolding, the roles that might be played, but it never forgets. It is always constant. Even though the world might forget, this part of you is always aware. I invite you to truly listen, not just with your mind, but with your whole heart. And if you are ready to receive this message, then I trust it will reach the one who needs it today. The purpose of life is not to do something with the self. It is to realize the self so fully that all actions become God's. There is no I or me or mine to play the role anymore. It is just God in form, divinity, the state of actionlessness. Yet, scriptures talk about how it is important to continue action in this life. But in this world, in this physical, false 3D world that we live in, action is essential. And when we continue to do action, it's usually based on our past programmings and our beliefs and identities, which would be the false self, which would be the self that is a bundle of all these beliefs, the roles that we play, the I, me, mine, the possessions. But there is a one that is beneath all of that. And that is the state of the observer, the divinity, the presence that is beyond birth, beyond death. Can I reach this state, this clarity, this observer state, this actionless state, but also know that action will naturally arise? It's just the person, the identity, the I will no longer be so active, so prominent. It will still be there, the ego will still be there, yet everything will be detached. It's easy to talk about it, it's easy to have words for it, but how does it actually happen? How does one actually attain the state that every scripture talks about? The body has its programming. This is why we have the 5 senses. So every time you touch something, it has a memory, it has a response, it has an emotional trigger. Which is why Bhagavad Gita talks about the meditation. You are one-pointed, one-minded, and you're not focusing externally on all of these senses. The sense pleasures are very enticing. So besides this physical form, you also have this mind and these desires and wants and these roles that we play. So that would be that false I. And this I is always wanting more. And if it doesn't get its way, there's usually anger or resentment, things arise, and it causes a whole spiral of emotions. And then this is where you become so rooted into your physical form because you forget, you almost black out from the true essence of who you are. You become very much attached to the form. But beyond all of this, if you remember to come back to the observer self, to detach, the detachment part, you also have to be very mindful, because this isn't like you throw away the world. No, this is you come back to the realizing that all of these things externally should not have a hold on you, in the sense that they shouldn't make you react in a certain way. You shouldn't be attached to the outcome. This is the actionless state. You are unconditional. You have reached a point within yourself where you are so beautifully pure that you deeply know, and you have experienced this separation of the false ego, and you have merged with this beautiful essence and peace and clarity and stillness, where there isn't a person doing an action to get something. There is this form that is being walked on this earth, and it is just giving. It is just performing the necessary actions that it is here to do, but it is without the concept of me, mine, this I will have, I will get this from here. It is just a natural flow and unfolding, a selflessness. Even the concept, though, when you say I, is still an idea. It is beyond that. It is the experience of all. The observer aspect that is behind the person doing the action. And it is very easy to get sucked right back into that false state of identity, that false I, because the real I, that God within us, that observer, that divinity, that trueness, that part of ourselves doesn't control. It doesn't come and try and get you back. It allows you to be free. So what happens is that this world naturally gets a hold of us, and we forget about this true version of ourselves. Yet this doesn't forget about us. It is always observing. It is always there. This is the state of purity. This is God within form. And because this false identity, this I, this ego, which is not bad, this is why we're here. There's nothing bad about having to live in the experience of ego. This is just the form of action and karma and overcoming that and realizing the truth. But when you are aware that this false self might be active, you have that observer within yourself where you can just witness this unfolding. You can just witness this I, this person that is feeling all of this. That could be feeling distracted or angry or irritated, or it's desiring something, or the thoughts are constantly flowing here, or it's wanting this. If you just bring a sense of awareness, and sometimes that can be very difficult when there are a lot of things happening, many clouds are in the way, but if the clouds part, there will be only the open sky. And sometimes you have to have so much awareness and patience to realize that the clouds will eventually part and the sky will eventually appear. But to sit through it and not run away, don't suppress anything. Just allow the unfolding of what is happening in the present moment. Then you are kind of like releasing whatever this old stored memory or this trauma or this old identity is showing itself as to be. And if you can cultivate a time to sit in meditation and bring yourself back into the stillness of the here and now, and bringing it back to the breath, and you are offering each breath to God, you are allowing yourself to be present, then the divinity starts to almost root itself back into this form. The more you are aware of what is happening and you are not attaching, the easier and the faster the clouds will part. The real you sits deep. There is no word. It is just the essence. It is beyond birth and death. It is beyond words. It is beyond the concept. It is beyond thought. But once you have the experience, and if anybody has had this experience, please leave a comment down below. I would love to have this conversation with you. If you have had this experience, then you know what I'm trying to convey, because it is beyond words. It is so difficult to try and express something that is not really meant to be put into words, because the moment you put something into words, it kind of naturally just fades. It takes away its divinity. So beyond the words, when you have this experience, this realness, this truth, then you start to cultivate more of that. The only thing that you have to do at this point is try and abide and sit more into that. And when life throws all these new things at you and all these roles and beliefs and the to-do lists, just on the broader way, look at them, acknowledge them. But remember, there is something so much more. There's something so beautiful and way beyond the daily programmings of the false I. And the more you sit in that stillness in your heart, and you remember that divinity in your purpose, the more it's gonna take over, and your life is gonna be exceptionally blessed and beautiful, and you will remember, you will continue to remember, and eventually you won't have to have this experience of forgetting or dying, in the sense, or coming back, because there will be no such thing as forget. Thank you so much for sticking with me and listening to this video. Do like and subscribe and comment down below. I'm so interested to hear from you if you've ever experienced something like this, what your thoughts might be, and if I might have missed something, please go ahead and let me know. I'm sure there is so much more. It is so difficult to try and put things into words sometimes, but I did the best I could. I had no script. I just wanted to let it all kind of flow. So thank you so much, and I will see you back here again.